Happy Mother's Day. And what a blessing to have been chosen by God to do a unique work for Him. Yes, moms, what we do is unique. If you are a mother, biologically, through marriage, through adoption, a godmom, a spiritual mom, an auntie mom, a sister mom, a grandmom, happy Mother's Day. No matter how you were called to this amazing work, never forget that God has chosen you, equipped you, and has entrusted you for this mission. And what a blessed mission it is to get to be used by God. It may sound like a daunting and weighty task, but nothing will be impossible with God. Mothers, I applaud you for all the amazing work that you have done and are doing in raising God's children. And parenting through this COVID-19 season has likely brought about some unique challenges of its own. But say it with me, nothing is impossible with God. I want to remind you, mothers, godmothers, auntie moms, etc., that God has entrusted to you souls. Love that soul. 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7 says, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. Love that soul. Love does not insist on its own way. Love is not irritable or resentful. Love that soul. Love does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, it believes all things, and it hopes all things, and love endures all things. Love that soul. Mothers, but be sure to apply that same love to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Forgive yourselves. There is no such thing as a perfect mom. We're all learning by way and through this process. I want to remind you, though, that when Jesus said to go and make disciples of all nations, he's also talking to you. This earth has been spinning now for thousands of years, and the stories that God has given to us for our learning are thousands of years old, and they remain firm and effective. You, however, were born in this hour, in this era, to accomplish something for God right now. Your first mission, the children. If God has placed a child before you, do your work. Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Train up a child. You have been called not to perfection, but to obedience. You don't determine the outcome. God does. Do your work. And remember that all things are possible for God. Galatians 5:22 and 23 says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, is joy, is patience, is kind, it's goodness, it's faithfulness, it's gentleness, it's self-control. This highlights our necessity to depend on God. Many women before us have been entrusted with the caring for, the training up, the teaching, the loving on, and the nurturing of young men and women for ages, and they have completed their task. We have great influence, mothers. Influence well. Nitzaveh was the mother of David, the king of Israel, a man after God's own heart. Amanthala was the mother of Abraham, the father of faith. Someone gave birth to Naomi, the mother-in-law of Ruth. Mothers influence well. Sarah gave birth to Isaac, the loving and trusting child who Abraham would take up to be sacrificed. Influence well. Rebekah gave birth to twins, Esau and Jacob was the one that God said he loved. Influence well. Rachel raised up Joseph, the second most powerful man in Egypt next to Pharaoh. Influence well. Someone mothered Hannah, the one who gave birth to Samuel, the prophet of God. Hagar gave birth to Ishmael. He was Abraham's firstborn. Bathsheba gave birth to and raised up Solomon, the wisest man in the world. Elizabeth was chosen to bring forth a child in her old age, and his name was John the Baptist. Jochebed raised up Moses, the one who led the Exodus. The wife of Manoah gave birth to Samuel, the man gifted with great strength. Mary was chosen to bring forth the child Jesus the Christ. Influence well. Deborah had a mother. Miriam had a mother. Abigail had a mother. Candace, Ethiopian's queen, had a mother. Esther had a mom. Timothy had a mom. Paul and Priscilla had a mom. The work that we do, ladies, is valuable on the earth. You are valuable. Now, you say it with me. I was chosen by God to raise up who? Cherie, was chosen by God to influence Anissa, to influence Angie, to raise up Darren, to raise up and influence Jamal, to raise up Aaliyah, to raise up Ayana, to give birth and guide Ryan. Mothers, mothers-in-laws, grandmothers, godmothers, stepmothers, you are not here simply to be consumers of life. Your life has purpose. Teach a child. Raise a prophet. Teach them to be great women in the world. Teach them to love their husbands. Teach them to be encouraging. Be teachers. Teach them to love people. Teach them to read. Teach them to be proud of who they are and how God has made them. Teach them that they're beautiful. Set them on the path of righteousness. Auntie moms, spiritual moms, sister moms, teach a child. Raise a priest. Teach him to respect women, to protect girls. Build him up and remind him who he belongs to. Teach them to be great husbands, to be loving fathers. Model for them goodness. Mothers, love your sons' wives. Treat them well. Love them the way that you want to be loved. Grandmothers, come alongside your daughters. Come alongside your son. Bless their babies. Moms, apologize to your children. Model for them humility. Daunting task, I'm sure. But remember, nothing is impossible for our God. Any of us who have been mothers for any amount of time know that this mission comes with its challenges. But pray through the uncertainties, relish in the joy, and persevere through the pain. These are necessary seasons for growth for both you and the child. These are necessary seasons for growth. Don't abandon the mission, mothers. trust God. Sometimes it will require just a hug and a prayer. Sometimes it's just going to require listening. Other times it may actually require fasting. But pray through the uncertainty. Enjoy the good. Persevere through the pain. Mothers, biologically, through marriage, adoptive moms, God moms, spiritual moms, auntie moms, sister moms, grandmoms. Today, we celebrate you for all the good work that you have done, and you deserve it. And if you're feeling like you haven't been such a good mom, it's never too late. God is merciful, and he knows that in all things, God is merciful, and we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him. Get back on mission and let him work the good through you in everything that has happened up to this point. For you have been called according to his purpose. Be great influencers. Be great mom. Love your children. Today is your day. Be celebrated. Enjoy the joy. And tomorrow, get back on mission. For you were created for a purpose, called for this moment, in this hour, for this era, to accomplish something for God. And say it with me. Nothing is impossible with God. Happy Mother's Day.